This is your daily market recap from Monday, October 10th, 2022. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max, GDXJ Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Monday, October 10th, 2022. Let's get into it. First off, I want to start with the Jamie Dimon headline, aka I call the buddy pass. Posted this a couple hours ago as it dropped. Typically when news comes out at the lows, at low volume, and brokers recommend or do not recommend certain strategies in the oversold or overbought condition, please be aware that you might get the good old shake and bake bear bull traps. What was already known is that, yes, the market could go down another 20%. Yes, 6 to 9 month recession. Remember, the market is not the economy. The economy is not the market. In the oversold condition, this kind of news headlines allows for what? Market makers to cover. Allows for what? Big boys to buy on the cheap. That's how I look at it. Now, again, this could be just a couple day event. But look at the action. We went below the recent lows, and then what? The market popped right back. That kind of stuff is learned. There's nothing in charting. There's nothing you can do to other than the experience and just someone teach you that. Because we talk about, they don't ring bells at tops and bottoms, but they do create what? Repeating patterns, repeating traps, repeating information that seems bullish or bearish that goes against it. Remember, like at the highs, you ever see the, or how about at the lows, Newsweek said oil is dead. This was in what, March or whatever, April 2020, when oil capitulated with COVID. Not true. And then it rolled back to 140 at the highs, oil going to 250, whatever. Beating a dead horse here. You get it. Hopefully people are in safe. Going to talk about some of the market action, what to expect coming up. Bitcoin, dead. Sideways, not going anywhere. Hopefully it comes back to life. We'll see. You know your stops, you know your levels. Oil. Hello, Moto. You're welcome. Talked about resistance acting as resistance. Not surprised it backed off. Said the 93 level. Support equals resistance. This is why you follow me in this channel, because we know the levels. Levels matter. They speak. Now, there are things, as we're talking about buddy pass, that and certain kind of news that is very difficult to predict, but this is how you put all this together to know what? How the markets work. I mean, if it was just as easy as charting, everyone would get rich. I mean, you'd be able to have repeating tendencies that were just all charts all the time. Easy. It's not like that. That's not the reality. However, levels matter, though, more times than not. That's what you learn. It's probability based. Said the odds of hitting 93 coming from the straight line move probably backs up. We'll see near term. I mean, I personally think if they're talking about recession and the Feds could ease and CPI comes a little lower, I think that would push actually oil higher. This is what's the problem with the markets, is ultimately I think oil and gas put the Feds into a position where they what? They capitulate. They just have to go all in raising rates, potentially creates the next leg down. And if they don't go all in raising rates, they'll just talk about having to keep rates higher for longer. Because the market is what? It's trying to anticipate a pivot. That's the only way the market holds here, in my opinion. Or things get figured out overseas. I mean, it's really pretty simple. You know, you need to get the supply-demand dynamics back to normal, essentially. We shall see. Oops, watching gas into the close. We'll get into that shortly. Zadala, talked about it. Looks like it's losing steam. I mean, green candles shrinking. We'll see. I mean, the dollar loves to retest. Just keep it simple. To get over 37 and make new highs, I think the market would take the next leg down. Holding up really, to me, isn't bullish or bearish. It's more of just, you need more time. You need to figure it out. TLT. Bond markets closed today, so everything was going on with what? All these ETFs. Is today the bottom in bonds? I don't know. Check out the monthly, right? some major support over here in the upper 90s. We'll see. Long story short, as long as bonds don't get too crazy, I think we are in the oversold position to bounce, going into a CPI that's going to be what? Probably a little lighter than recently. That's what they're expecting. I mean, the CPI number, let me look at it, double check. Yeah, it's looking to come in lower. That's my guess. So we'll see what happens. At this point, I said a lot of people wasted mental capital trying to predict this. We thought it was going to bounce. I got stopped out right here. And then I didn't come back to it. And again, I just think that's the thing about trading. You got to see trades for what they are. There's always something better potentially. And if not, move on. The VIX. This one is getting a little tricky. You hit our upside target zone. And now you can't get over the 33s. This one's tough. The market is not easy. I mean, if you don't know what to do, don't trade. That would be my first recommendation here. Just hang them up, take a break, wait it out. At this point, man, you were at levels that could take us higher or what? Could go lower. I personally think the VIX is going to come in just like it did in 2008, right before the crash. You know, they lull us into a sense of what I would consider, vulnerability / things are going to be okay. SPY. Interesting close, right? Look at this. Look at this little donkey. Touches the lows on the Jamie Dimon. Again, volume is nothing. Bounces back. Closes above 360. Pretty binary. Know your levels. Stay in. You get out. QQQ. Same thing. Other than, did not have the great of closes you wanted. If you're a Q bull, and then I've said this for the last couple weeks now, tech is just not a buy. I don't care. I mean, I know it could rally, but leaders lead, laggards lag. QQQ, lagging. I mean, it's getting beaten by the same SMH news and chip news, but we'll see what happens. I mean, some of the names look a little interesting, some don't. IWM. Things that aren't bullish. I've said this. Commodities, based IWM, banking, other sectors, looking way better. Things that don't confirm a absolute breakdown. Gold. This one we told you to sell up at the 50-day. Now I'm watching some levels, and it looks a little interesting. I mean, now again, the first dip should probably get bought if it's this aggressive. This chop and slowness typically, or chop then drop, doesn't always get bought as quick as pop and then flop. Think of the momentum of how moves are made. Like when you go up quick, either, again, this is what's so hard with gold, is it can pull back quick, as you can see. I think it's more of this kind of move is happening here, where we probably get choppy in a retest. Maybe the 50-day again. Well, I could be wrong. Dead wrong. Again, I don't think this is the ultimate bottom. But if the dollar is peaking, market starts to rally a little bit, they'll buy some gold. I put my money where my mouth is. My mouth where my money is. I'm just kidding. Silver, holding the 20-day, 50-day. Again, I've said, this, don't please watch previous videos. The final bottom will be the capitulation when the market gets over 50 VIX-wise and everyone's just puking. We're not there yet. We are not there. GDXJ ended up buying the JNUG today because I was watching. I'm like, fills the gap. And at the 20-day, pretty obvious. Bought it right near the lows of the days. Got lucky. I mean, JNUG was at 26. I mean, again, I don't chart. I'm just trying to show y'all, like, this is where it was. Right near 26. I guess the low of the day. Let me open it up. Got pretty close for government work. But, I mean, if you look at the GDXJ, you can tell, relatively speaking, it was just as simple as that. Fill in the gap. And here's the thing. I apologize I don't have it. But if you look at my 10-minute, I have support resistance around here. A point of control. You can see it with the day. Many a days. Open and closes there. Or opened over it, closed, and couldn't get above it or below it. GDXJ I like better. Said this 1,000 times. The juniors have more gusto next into this bull market of commodities. That will come at some point. Probably not. Again, this is just trading the bounce. Trading the bounce. Not marrying anything. Dating. Dating casually. Casual dating. Swipe left, swipe right, swipe some points out of it, maybe. GDX, same kind of thing. 20-day, pulling back. Bleh. Things that don't look bearish. Again, look at the AG. I was looking at it today. I'm like, opened, dropped, came right back. AEM, unfortunately, closed a little lower, close to the lows, but 20-day, nothing dramatically ugly. Old Newmont, garbage. Doji, meh. You know, meh. It's like the Larry David, meh. Pass. Again, all the 20-day. This is a very similar, simple situation. Just the lows need to hold, or I'm gone. Oh, but you've bought the first day. Well, again, I bought a smaller amount. If we retest tomorrow, breaks the lows, I'm gone. And if it holds and it looks like it's holding, I'll add. People hate retest. Retest is great for shoppers. People with shopping tendencies. The ability to shop and not get greedy all at once. Love it. Let's get into tech. The good old tech wreck. AMD guided down, and then you had China news about, us not letting China use chips. They're going to retaliate against our chips. No doubt. AMD Doji. Interesting. Again, extremely oversold. Back at the COVID levels. Pre-COVID levels. Probably going to bounce. Again, I expect the market to probably rally a little bit into the midterm. It just seems likely. Could be wrong. It's all very binary. It's all based on levels. NVIDIA. Laggards. But this is the problem. Laggards lag. It's getting real close to this down channel. We'll see. All of these names. I'm going to wrap through them very quickly. SMH is at the 50-month. Tweeted that earlier. We'll see. I just don't want to touch these. However, Apple. Not near the lows. Doji. Didn't look that bad today. It was actually up 27 cents. Amazon, which has held up better. Not even taking out the lows recently. Doesn't look terrible. CRM. CRM. Laggard. Leave it alone. Don't know. Google. Laggard. Chopping. Not making new lows, though. Meta. Laggard of laggards. Once it broke 155, game over. Making new lows. Just whatever. Microsoft hates a stronger dollar. Into the great wide open. Who knows? It could continue wiping out. NDAQ. Actually up today. Kicking myself for not shorting this up at the trend line. I'd like to see 61.62. This is the Coinbase for NASDAQ. Oh, please pop this thing. MicroStrategy. Flat today. Things that don't look that bearish. Holding 20-day. Netflix. Up a whopping 5 points. Not even near the lows, folks. Holding up pretty well. We shall see. Roblox up 58 cents. You'd think the market was about to wipe out. This would be wiping out. No, seems to be holding 34s. Even junky Tesla, which I just will short until the oblivion, until it goes to zero. No, it's not going to zero, but it'll be overloved and then underloved at some point. Into the point of control here. Doji today. Things that don't look terribly bearish. I don't know. Your guess is good as mine on tech. I'm just leaving alone. Let's go to my favorites. Commodities. I like commodities. Letter X. Up 50 cents today. Doesn't look that bad. Making a higher low as the market made lower lows. Nucor. Same thing. Gapped up. Held up. Things that don't, again, stick to the leaders. I'm telling you guys, you keep jumping around the tech and then that other stuff. You're not going to like it. VALE. Not as pretty as the dollar strengthened, came back in, holding the 8-day. We'll see what happens. Good old Arrow, Copper. Copper John. Top of the channel, Doji. We'll see what happens. CCJ. Oh, uranium. Something was going on in the uranium names today. Don't know. Someone was getting whacked. But, I've said this. I would not chase the things that are, I don't like uranium because everyone's all in it. But this is the thing that might be provided with great opportunity to trade it. Names that we bought. CF. Bought it today. Right at my point of control here at 104. Not bad. Made a higher high today. Things that don't look bearish. Again, commodities. Stick to the leaders. But you keep trading tech, you're going to hate your life. Mosaic. Look at that. Nicely. Close at Closing higher. Made higher highs from last week. Good old NTR. Throwing some more of these techers in there. Holding up. Or not techers, commodities. Holding up pretty well. Doesn't look terrible. I mean, we'll see. XBI. Down $1.40. Not making new lows. Holding up relatively well. Again, things that don't look terribly bearish to me. Good old XLF. Jamie Dimon talking down his own stock before earnings later this week. Not making new lows. Tough to confirm it. Morgan Stanley down a whopping 50 cents. Range lows. Ooh, held on. Nowhere near the June lows. Good old JP Morgan. Hey, Jamie Dimon. Thanks for throwing out your buddy pass. I saw it. I see you, bro. Back near the range lows. Remember, banks have earnings at the end of the week. CPI later this week. Things that could be interesting. Solar. What is it doing? It was up today. You gotta be kidding me. Things that aren't bearish, y'all. Are you seeing this? Like, this market confirmation doesn't feel like... I think we have a squeeze, and I'm going to go back into the squeeze once I get into oil and gas. So you'll see it. Those who stick around get the rewards. This doesn't look bearish. I mean, wait for 137, 140. Ooh, short Arama. Sedge. Even this piece of junk rallied a little bit. ENPH didn't look terrible today. Talked about it. Look at that. Retested the lows. Closed at the highs of the day approximately. Things that don't look bearish. Good old tan. Got back above 70. I got stopped out with some calls I bought. This is interesting. Let me zoom it out. All I want to do is zoom. You can see there's some like points of control. Maybe where's the biggest volume? We'll take that little guy. We'll draw it into here. I mean, it seems like it's holding this area. I figured novice gap at some point and then turn around. All right. I want to show you guys something. Again, I always love to give credit for people who show me things because I'm just not one of those people. I don't want the attention all the time. Talked about the SPY repeating pattern in May. This little chop and pop pattern. If that's the case, which it looks like it is forming, after a nice down move, you had 1 pump, 2 pumps, 3 pumps, retest and fail. 1 pump, 2 pumps, 3 pumps, retest and pop. If that is what's going on here, do you remember what happened in May and June? Let's go to the videotape. XOP, y'all. May and June. Hey-oh! Now we're up in the mid-40s, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's about to turn over. Look at the volume. I don't really see it sustaining down. Maybe it comes back, test this gap. I think we're going to fill this gap up here. I know that sounds crazy, but if this is the May-June pattern and repeat, oil and gas is what put the Feds on notice that they couldn't lower rates. They couldn't pivot. They couldn't do anything other than continue to raise rates to put oil out of its misery. USO. Again, we talked about 93, pulled back, made a higher high, has a higher low. We'll see what happens. Give it a few days. Promise me. ExxonMobil runs up. Still think it makes new highs. Pulls back. I mean, technically, there also is another little punto de controlo right in here. Yeah. Watch the mid-97s. Keep it simple. What other names? Oxy. Because we're going to go to EQT. We'll end it there. Oh, hits up the range. Pulls back to the 50-day. That doesn't look great, does it? These things you see after the market closes. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I mean, those are nice big moves. 56 up to 72. Pulls 72 back to 65. 7 points on a 16-point move. Yeah, I mean, it's probably near the point 382 retrace, maybe 50%. Let's end it with EQT and just thought process going forward. Chopping, holding the gap. You can see there's a point of control here. Do you guys remember what happened in May and June? I do. Thing went from 35 up to 51. Along the way, you had this pullback right off the start, and then it went bonkers. I think we're about to go bonkers, y'all. I don't know when. I don't know how. That's just my thinking. Because I think one of the things, again, Go back to the UNG. Did I even do... Man, am I really getting that old? UNG, look at this stuff. I apologize if I didn't... I'm just blasting through these names. This repeating pattern below the 200-day pop. Now, I know if you look at May, I mean, it still even went from 23 up to 32. This game around the 200-day. People are like, oh, it has to close at the highs to be bullish. No. Did it? No. Does it? No. You know what I mean? Like, when it bottoms, it bottoms. I hate when people put, like, time parameters or specific parameters sometimes on price action, because it doesn't work like that all the time. Watch the 200-day. Just watch this level. I mean, it seems very logical when you zoom out, because no one ever zooms out. They just look at the short time frames of everything. Sorry, let me close it up. You can see why this matters. Maybe it's not always obvious to you, but this is why I always tell people. Now, again, the UNG is a terrible product to chart. But if people are trading it, just like the USO, would we not agree the $22, $6 and change, whatever nat gas is at currently, it matters. And if it breaks, well, guess what? If you were buying it in the 22s, maybe you're buying the Boyle in the 48, 49, 50, you got to be willing to lose to win. Because if it does turn around, 26, 27, get over 24s. I mean, I don't know. I usually don't chart leverage ETFs, but I'll just show you what could happen. Right? I don't guarantee any of this, but could the Boyle get back up into the 60s? 70s? I mean, I like the risk reward. I'm going to end it on that. If you have any questions, again, stop by the Discord room. I am opening up the room for people who are looking to get involved. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. I'd love to talk to you. What's your story? What you're thinking? Where you're at in your trading career? How being a part of the room. Because, again, the goal is not to be the stock twits or Twitter of financial news or whatever. I just want a room full of great traders who help each other out. And when someone gives you a tip and a winner, you tip them. That's all. There's no fees to be a part of the room. There's nothing. I mean, it's all donation based. Generosity. I feel like, again, if you give me something that helps you make a bunch of money, tip the dealer. Just like when there'll be reverse. There's going to be times where someone is going to give me an absolute monster winner, and I will shower you with the thanks and praise. Because that's the thing. I mean, I'm hoping Curran is right about this May setup with the SPY, because it did that. It looked like it was going to jump off the cliff. Everyone kept saying 390, 390, 390. You got to hold 390. Well, you broke below it. You tested, 380, which is pretty crazy. Came right back, and then boom. I don't know if we need to make a lower low, because maybe 360 needs a break and go to 350, but then it came right back. Be aware there's nominally trillions of dollars of puts out there. Market makers are not going to let that walk and win. Be safe, be smart, and again, watch your levels. Watch the VIX. I mean, today's action, you would think that the VIX would be higher on the buddy pass from Jamie Dimon. It's not. Be smart, be safe, and when in doubt, less is more. I'm telling you, don't overtrade in this environment if you're not comfortable with the risk. All right? Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.